everyone, and welcome to the O'Brien Athletics and Recreation Center tonight on the PAC Sports Network. It's the first round of the NCAA Division III tournament as the Bethany Bison visit the St. Mary's College Seahawks. I'm Randy Gore along with Justin Piles for tonight's game. The Bethany Bison, champions of the President's Athletic Conference with a record of 25-3 overall, taking on St. Mary's. They are 19-7 from the Capital Athletic Conference, and they were the regular season champion of the Capital Athletic Conference. However, in the conference tournament, lost to York 61-58 in the semifinals, yet they are hosting here tonight. A great deal of that surely has to be on the tradition that they have built over the past few years. St. Mary's has been in the Sweet 16 3 of the last 4 seasons. The Bethany Bison now in their second straight year in the NCAA tournament, and lines up as what should be an exciting matchup tonight.
Should be an exciting matchup for sure, Randy. A couple of different contrasting styles. Bethany, we all know that they like to run the floor, they like to press, they like to get in your face, and they're very good outside shooters. And the Seahawks, on their own home floor, they have some very good outside shooters and also have a great inside presence in Christian McCauley, one of the premier shot blockers in not just the Capital Athletic Conference, but across Division III. A sophomore, 6'8", ranked 11th in the nation in blocking shots. And he's going to have a tough, or the Bison are going to have a tough time going up against him tonight, with the likes of British Alexander and Nick Wilcox finding him in their way when they try and penetrate to the basket. So it'll be an interesting matchup. Watch for the down-low battles between Alexander Wilcox and McCauley, number 22 for the Seahawks.
And as you mentioned, with McCauley being a force down low, a guy you have to watch from the outside if you're the Bethany Bison, Devin Spencer. He was a second-team pick in the Capital Athletic Conference. McCauley, a first-team pick in last year's Conference Rookie of the Year award winner. But Spencer this year has been tremendous from the outside. He's a guy that can knock down shots from beyond the arc or pretty much anywhere you have him on the court. So that's somebody as well that Bethany will have to look out for from the defensive end. And we're talking with Coach Andrew Sachs of the Bethany Bison a short while ago, and he talked about this team. Really, they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder, and we're going to have the national anthem here in just a moment, so we'll talk a little bit more about this after the anthem. But a team with a chip on their shoulder, sure, they won the PAC, but they're here on the road, and with a 25-win season. And that's one of the things that that has them certainly motivated. Not that you need much motivation when you're playing an NCAA tournament game, but something that has them motivated, playing with a chip on their shoulder, hoping to prove a point here on the road at St. Mary's, again, against a very traditional team that has been to the Sweet 16 3 of the last 4 years and in the Elite 8 last season. As the folks now on their feet at the O'Brien Center for the national anthem, we will pause for the anthem as well. As you can hear, a lighthearted moment here at the gymnasium. As soon we'll have the national anthem, but apparently, I guess Austin Powers wanted to make an appearance there.
Someone threw in the wrong CD, I believe.
Yeah, evidently wrong CD, or at least wrong CD track, but folks still on their feet here, so shortly we'll have the national anthem for this first round NCAA tournament game. The Bethany Bison visiting St. Mary's College, the Seahawks from the Capital Athletic Conference. Glad you can be with us on the PAC Sports Network and hear the national anthem. anthem here in St. Mary's City, Maryland, as the Bethany Bison ready to face the St. Mary College Seahawks. Starting lineup's about to be introduced here shortly. And we'll give you the starting five for the visiting Bethany Bison as they are being introduced right now. We'll run them down for you. 5'10" junior, number 1, James Barton. Number 10, 6'3" junior, Nick Wilcox. Number 11, 6'6" senior, British Alexander. Number 12, 5'11" junior, Reese Mabry. And number 22, 6'5" sophomore, Leslie Addy. For St. Mary's, led by head coach Chris Hardy in his 7th year, they will line it up this way. Number 11, 5'11" junior, Devin Spencer. Number 12, 6'3" junior, Chris Hutchinson. Number 20, 6'2" freshman, Nick Laguerre. Number 22, Christian McCauley, 6'8" sophomore. And number 35, 6'5" sophomore, Brendan McFall.
Watch for the size of St. Mary's in this game. We already mentioned McCauley, 6'8". They have a roster of a couple guys 6'4", a couple guys 6'5", a couple guys 6'6", and along with McCauley, they have a freshman off the bench, 6'8". So they can play they go very deep, and they can play very tall underneath the basket, going 6'8", like I mentioned, with McCauley underneath the hoop and a shot blocking presence.
Now you can likely hear over our crowd mic, the gymnasium has suddenly caught fire a bit, and we're still in the pregame. That's because the student body has arrived for St. Mary's College just in time for their starting lineups to be introduced. The Bethany Bison, James Barton now out onto the floor, the last to be introduced for the Bison, or excuse me, Leslie Addy, one more we have here to be introduced for the Bethany Bison. But expect a lively crowd here tonight greeting the Bison on the road.
Well, Bethany knows all about lively crowds. We saw that Saturday against Thomas More, and they had that again before on the Thursday night against W&J. That place was electric, so now it'll be a little more hostile kind of crowd, but they're certainly used to playing in front of a lot of noise, and it's nice to see the students come out and support St. Mary's College in the first-round game of the NCAA tournament. Talking with the people around here, a lot of people didn't think that they'd be in the tournament with their first-round loss to York. York getting the automatic bid out of the Capital Athletic Conference, but St. Mary's, like you mentioned, a strong basketball tradition. Sweet 16, 2 years out of the last 4, and then an Elite 8 appearance last year. So going very deep in the tournament 3 of the last 4 years. And we'll see what happens this year. About to get the first round underway.
Not to mention St. Mary's, a team that was ranked 15th by D3.com to start the season. As we mentioned, they've been regulars in the NCAA tournament, and also a rugged schedule. They certainly have been battle-tested, going up against some of the best in the country. Several teams that are in this Division III NCAA tournament that they have faced along the way. Just to name a couple, Franklin and Marshall and College of Worcester, a couple of teams that were in the top 25 when St. Mary's played them.
Yeah, also add Christopher Newport to the list, and the aforementioned York College. They actually ran into York 3 times, twice during the regular season, and their loss in their conference tournament. So they are battle-tested. Bethany is battle-tested. They just won the PAC conference on Saturday. We're about ready to roll in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
And for Bethany, a chance to not only prove something for themselves, but the rest of the President's Athletic Conference if they are able to come away with a victory on the road. We're just about set for the opening tip. British Alexander and Christian McCauley. The ball in the air, and we are underway. The NCAA Division III tournament, and St. Mary's will begin with the basketball first. And walking it up the floor, Devin Spencer. He'll get the ball right back as St. Mary's sets up the offense. Spencer, second-team all-conference pick in the Capital Athletic Conference. And there's McCauley out to Spencer for 3. No good. Rebound tipped about, eventually pulled down low. And that is Hutchinson with the putback. It's St. Mary's in front 2-0.
St. Mary's attacking the boards. Hutchinson getting that putback. It's very important for Bethany to come out firing on offense, trying to get a basket. If you remember last year, they actually fell down 15 points to Manchester in the first round of the NCAA tournament before bucketing their first basket.
And playing on the road, especially in the NCAA tournament, always a tough thing, and that's what Bethany will have to contend with again here this year. Barton, take no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds off of Bethany. Seahawks basketball.
You mentioned in the opening, Randy, that the Bison feel like they have a chip on their shoulder, winning the PAC conference, but having to travel down here to St. Mary's. It's also a sense of unfinished business after last year's first-round exit. They want to come back. They are back, and now they want to prove that they belong and get that win in the NCAA tournament.
2-0 St. Mary's. Over a minute into tonight's contest. Devin Spencer will look left. Hutchinson pass tipped out of bounds by Nick Wilcox, the PAC conference leader in steals. And he is also the PAC Player of the Year in men's basketball. So congratulations to Nick Wilcox and British Alexander, named to the first team, and Reese Mabry, a second-team pick in the President's Athletic Conference. Inbounds pass St. Mary's with the use of the window. Brendan McFall makes it 4-0 St. Mary's.
A couple quick points in the paint. First St. Mary's taking a quick 4-0 lead just minutes into this game.
Mabry will survey the defense, looks right to Barton. Now up top of the key to Wilcox, guarded by Hutchinson. Wilcox now stops, kicks it out to Mabry. He'll look top of the key, right back to Wilcox around a screen. Wilcox trying to work around McFall. Leaner, no good back of the iron. Addy with the offensive board, and he is fouled. Now look for fouls to be very important in this game. You have a Bethany team that really doesn't go very deep off the bench. You have Brady Pacific as a tremendous sixth man, but beyond him, Bethany doesn't go much further. At times they do, but not typically. St. Mary's has a much deeper bench, and look for them to possibly very much pressure Bethany here tonight and use all of their bench. Here's a steal by St. Mary's, and now a foul down the other end on Barton, and drawing the foul, Nick Laguerre. Laguerre, the freshman, with the steal of the inbounds pass.
And they're going to call that a shooting foul. And that was a little far away from the hoop, but what do we know being way up here?
Well, Laguerre gets the benefit of the doubt with St. Mary's leading 4-0. St. Mary's College of Maryland. First free throw for Laguerre is no good.
Laguerre, 72% free throw shooter.
He is another guy that can knock down the outside shot to go along with Devin Spencer. And Laguerre's second free throw is good. So he's on the score sheet. It's 5-0 St. Mary's. Here comes that full court defense. Long inbound, or excuse me, the long pass up ahead into the forecourt to Wilcox, but off of his hands right near the Seahawks bench area. And the Seahawks do force the turnover. This is something that Bethany was expecting and will have to combat if they hope to be successful tonight.
Well, Bethany needs to do a better job of taking care of the basketball in those inbounds passes. That's the second one they've thrown away right to the Seahawks.
Laguerre back to Devin Spencer. Spencer, who averages 11 points per game. Lob pass toward McCauley, but the Bison ready for that with the steal. Now Mabry will take the three-point shot with a hand in his face. No good. Long board goes to Spencer, and he's going to run the floor now for St. Mary's. There's the alley-oop and the dunk for Hutchinson, and it's 7-0 St. Mary's.
Bethany might need a timeout right now. This crowd is pumped up. They need to find some kind of offense, just take care of the basketball. Might be a good time for Coach Sachs and company to regroup.
Bethany College going left to right across your computer screen right now. There's Brady Pacific up ahead past Tip, but into the forecourt to Reese Mabry. And now Bethany will try to set up the offense, trailing 7-0. 17 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock. Pacific with a move toward the cylinder, left-handed lay-in, nicely done. Brady Pacific gets Bethany on the board.
And just 3 minutes into the game, but that was a huge basket for Pacific. Nice penetration and getting the roll.
Spencer with the teardrop, no good. Rebound Mabry. Mabry is fouled by Hutchinson. Chris Hutchinson, the 6'3" junior, already with 4 points in this game for St. Mary's. He will head to the bench with his first foul. Is coming off the bench is Devin Gilmore. Actually make that his second foul already in the game. So exactly why Hutchinson is headed to the bench. So Chris Harney, as we mentioned, will bring in Devon Gilmore, 6-foot sophomore. Inbounds pass to Mabry. Bethany trailing 7-2 to trying to overcome that early fire from St. Mary's. They had a 7-0 lead. Now it's 7-2. Mabry with a crossover move. Now we'll look to Pacific for a long distance tray. That one will scoop out. Rebound Wilcox. Lofts a pass to Alexander, trying to back his way in some space. Left-handed lay-in right in the cylinder. 7-4. Bethany trailing by 3.
And up and over the shot blocker, McCauley. Nice awareness by Alexander, feeling McCauley and going left-handed that time.
Now you can hear the home court advantage that Bethany, or excuse me, of that St. Mary's crowd against Bethany. Here's a three-point shot, rattles out for Laguerre, rebound Bethany, and Pacific moves the ball quickly to Reese Mabry. Mabry with his sleek moves, passed by Pacific off the hands of Alexander, and now Spencer will jog it up the floor. Spencer, pull-up three-pointer, rattles it home, 10-4 St. Mary's.
You can't leave him open. He knocks him down at a 36% clip. He's really the one or two outside options that St. Mary's has, but he can knock him down with ease. You have to get a hand in his face.
Nice move by Mabry in the strong take. 10-6, St. Mary's lead cut to 4. Mabry with his first bucket, the 5'11 junior out of Highlands High School in the western Pennsylvania area. Gilmore surveys the defense. Now we'll kick it out to Spencer. Spencer, by the way, with that tray he made earlier on, is 54th of the season. Laguerre out to Spencer. He'll try another three. This one no good. Rebound tip. And let's see who's the last to touch it. Bethany. Nick Wilcox, the last man in the area of that basketball.
That's twice we've seen Devin Spencer left wide open and unable to knock down the three. Bethany, regardless of if he's knocking him down or not, has to get a hand in his face and do a better job being aware of his presence on the court. He can not get open looks like that all night.
Now we have a timeout on the floor, and looking at that last rebound attempt there, Nick Wilcox trying to battle it out with Brendan McFall. McFall, 6'5" sophomore, plenty of size on the St. Mary's team, and not just amongst the starters. You have 6'8" sophomore Christian McCauley, 6'6" senior on the bench Mike Fitzpatrick. You also have 6'6" junior Jeff Haas, who provides some good size, and all of those players not afraid to bang inside at all, and that's something that Bethany will have to contend with when they have you have 6'6" senior British Alexander and Leslie Addy at 6'5", but beyond those two players, tough in terms of the size matchup. St. Mary's certainly has the advantage there.
A lot of size, and they have a lot of players coming off their bench. Saw the full court press that St. Mary's was implementing early on here. Obviously, that's designed to generate turnovers, but it's also designed to wear down Bethany. They know Bethany doesn't go very deep, playing 5, 6, 7 men at tops most nights. So that's basically just to make their ball handlers work at bringing the ball up the court. Maybe tire them out a little bit in the second half. That's definitely an advantage that St. Mary's has. Depth on the bench and at every position.
Spencer will inbound it here momentarily. 15 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock, 10-6 Seahawks. And here's a quick jump shot, partially blocked by Wilcox. And the ball pulled in out of the air by Brady Pacific. Nick Wilcox, do-everything type of player. And he did a little bit of something there with that blocked shot, which is not necessarily his forte, more so of that of British Alexander, but Wilcox stepping in, getting a partial block, and Bethany with the basketball after a foul here, charged to Kyle Wise of the St. Mary's Seahawks.
And that's the second time Mabry's penetration caused a foul.
And bounce past the Barton, and he'll move to his left, jump shot, drops it home, 10-8 the score. St. Mary's ahead by 2.
Well, that's a guy they need to heat up for Bethany. Number 1, James Barton, very good outside shooter. Sometimes doesn't get a ton of looks, only 10 points in the PAC championship, but when he gets the looks and the basketball in his hand, he can knock those shots down.
McCauley in a double team kicks it out, bounce past McFall, and kicks it out beyond the arc. Another lofted in past to McCauley as the Seahawks trying to get him going inside. Looks to McFall, tipped by Wilcox, the save, but the ball thrown out of bounds by McFall. And there the Bethany defense forces the turnover, and mostly done because of the double team work picked up on the big guy, Christian McCauley.
Well, they're denying McCauley the basketball. They're not even letting him touch it right now. That's a great game plan for Bethany. Make the Seahawks beat you from the outside. And right now it's the Seahawks' turn to go a little stagnant from the floor on offense.
Three-point try by Mabry, no good. Rebound off the backboard, and eventually caroms to Kyle Wise. Wise to Laguerre, now McFall left quarter. McFall, harassed by Pacific, will release the pass to McCauley. He'll take the jump shot, front of the rim, rebound, eventually reeled in by British Alexander. 13:54 to go in the first half, 10-8 St. Mary's, and Bethany trying to tie, but the shot no good by Wilcox. McCauley with the board.
And that was one of those times with McCauley, even though he didn't get the block on the stat sheet, his presence altered that shot of Nick Wilcox.
Now setting up the offense. Fadeaway blocked by Pacific. McCauley trying to grab the board, but there over the back over one of the Bethany Bison, ball out of bounds.
Absolutely. It was a good effort by McCauley, but he was absolutely over the back of a Bethany player. That'll be his first foul and the 4th team foul on the Seahawks.
Glad you can be with us on the PAC Sports Network for this NCAA first round tournament game in Division III basketball. Bethany trailing by 2, 10-8 the score. St. Mary's College of Maryland in front. There's a three-point try by Barton, no good. Rebound tipped, eventually McFall corrals it. Up ahead, Wise now to Spencer. He'll take the three-pointer and he'll knock it down. 13-8 St. Mary's.
He shoots that outside shot with a lot of confidence, doesn't he, Randy?
Absolutely does, and well, you noted his shooting percentage from beyond the arc at 36%. Why not? He has done well already early on in this game, giving St. Mary's a 5-point lead. 13:09 to go in the first half.
Again with that full court trap from St. Mary's. Bethany able to get the ball inbounds. Mabry will walk it up.
Mabry averages 13 points per game. Tremendous guard, dishing out the assists, and also very slick with the steals. He and Nick Wilcox really can create some havoc. Here is Pacific for 3 off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound in the left corner goes to Kyle Wise. He'll bring it up the floor across the timeline, directs traffic, looking for some help, pass right side, and goes to Mike Fitzpatrick. Bounce pass to Jeff Haas, kicks it out. Spencer, head fake, he'll take the 2-point jump shot, and he's on a roll right now. Look out for Devin Spencer. It's a 15-8 lead for St. Mary's.
Yeah, he's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence right now. Someone's got to guard him. Maybe 2 men get some hands in his face.
Pacific pass tipped out of bounds by Kyle Wise. 15-8 St. Mary's. Bethany will retain possession off that tip, off the fingertips of Kyle Wise. Some new troops checking in for each team. Leslie Addy back in for Bethany, as James Barton now will take a temporary seat on the bench to get some rest. Reese Mabry accepts the inbounds pass with Wise reaching in on him. No foul. Pass left to Wilcox. And now we've got a whistle. And this will be a foul on St. Mary's. Charge that one to Devin Spencer, his first. That's the 15th foul on St. Mary's already in the game, just 1 on Bethany.
Well, Bethany needs to go right at St. Mary's, let them commit fouls number 6 and 7 and get into that bonus, especially since their outside game really isn't working. Attack the inside portion of that St. Mary's defense and get to the free throw line. Especially with some tremendous free throw shooters as well, with Mabry and Barton, to name a few. Here's Alexander coming free off the window and good. 15-10, St. Mary's lead is 5. That time Christian McCauley went for the steal, couldn't get it, and Alexander had a free path to the basket.
11:40 to go, first half. McCauley guarded tightly by Alexander. Now Fitzpatrick slithers his way in. Jump shot no good off the back of the iron. Rebound Alexander. British Alexander, who averages 8.1 rebounds per game. Pacific hands it off to Mabry. Mabry dribbles right around a couple of screens. Now has some space, a fadeaway that will bound in. Bethany now trailing by 3, 15-12 the score in favor of St. Mary's. And here we have a timeout called by Chris Hardy, the head coach of the Seahawks.
Well, maybe we're getting that friendly roll that time. Bethany chipping back into that St. Mary's lead. Seahawks have led throughout, but Bethany not going away quietly and letting St. Mary's really mount much of a run. We were talking to Coach Sachs before the game. That's one of the points he was emphasizing. St. Mary's might get their points and might go on a run, but they need to limit those runs and limit how long those runs are. And right now, Bethany's doing a good job of answering before St. Mary's can really take control of the game. On the Seahawks side, they really haven't gotten Christian McCauley the ball. The Bison are doing a great job of denying number 22 the ball. They've really been hurt by the outside shooting of Devin Spencer, but no other Seahawks really been active on the score sheet so far.
Despite a couple of early turnovers, Bethany has handled the full court pressure defense of St. Mary's, and that's something that you can expect throughout the night, especially with the fact that they want to try and wear Bethany down with the fact that they don't use as much of their bench as St. Mary's does, so they want to use their depth off the bench to their advantage. Here's a pass to McCauley. McCauley fouled. Once he found some resistance there, Leslie Addy will be charged with a foul for the Bison.
got a quick timeout on the floor.
That'll be the first foul on Addy. And so with the timeout, the score 15-12, St. Mary's leading Bethany. And this St. Mary's team, we've talked about their success in the NCAA tournament over the years, an Elite Eight showing last year. They are 7-3 all time in the NCAA tournament, and looking for another big season, a big win tonight. If they are to pick up a victory over Bethany, it would be the 4th straight 20-win season for St. Mary's College of Maryland. So it goes to show you really what kind of success they have had in a school that's located in St. Mary's City, Maryland, very close to the Chesapeake Bay. This school is more noted for its boating and sailing teams here in their program in that regard. They're trying to build up this basketball program to rival that, and they certainly have done a great job of it.
When I saw that this game was in Maryland, I was thinking, like maybe many Bethany fans were thinking, oh, Maryland, it's not that far from Bethany. But no, this is very far down the coast, very much the extreme southeast portion of the state. It's quite the car ride from western Pennsylvania, where we came from, or the panhandle, northern panhandle of West Virginia, where Bethany College is located. It would take us about 5.5, 6 hours to come down here this afternoon.
Something about that, and well, we enjoyed the trip. A great day for travel, that's for sure. And all for a great night of basketball. 15-12 the score. McCauley, high shot off the board. Haas corralled the basketball. He was upended by Bethany. Gonna have a foul here charged against the Bison.
Jeff Haas, he's from western Pennsylvania, North Allegheny graduate.
Yeah, he has to know this drive from western PA quite well, from North Allegheny High School, the Pittsburgh area.
The only player on the Seahawks that isn't from the state of Maryland, so he most likely comes the farthest away.
And there's a pass that's swatted away by Wilcox, but ball scooped up quickly by the Seahawks. Three-point try again buried by Devin Spencer. He's got 11 in double digits, and it's an 18-12 lead for the Seahawks.
Well, he's been the St. Mary's offense the entire game. Someone needs to stop number 11 in white.
Alexander off the glass, no good. Wilcox tips it out of bounds. Ball to the Seahawks. Every time Bethany inches closer, there is Devin Spencer for a big three-pointer.
3 threes and another one that was just inside the three-point line. There he goes again, missing that one.
No good. Rebound tipped out to Wise. Wise will slow it up now. Alexander coming way out to guard him. Alexander will creep out again. Wise pass left to Fitzpatrick, guarded by Barton. He will back his way in, right back out to Wise, trying to feed the ball to McCauley. And he's a little farther away than you would like, the big guy from the cylinder, if you're St. Mary's. Spencer, take another three-pointer, and he'll hit another three-pointer. He is on fire right now. Devin Spencer gives the Seahawks a 9-point lead, 21-12.
4 3-pointers in the first 10-plus minutes of this game.
Barton trying to take it to the cylinder, loses the basketball, and a save attempt there by Spencer. And not sure why he went after that ball, unless he must have tipped it last, trying to save it. Jeff Haas was looking over. You could tell from his body language he was thinking the same thing as to perhaps why Spencer went after the basketball. Looked to be out of bounds off of Bethany, but nonetheless, Bison basketball, quick bounce pass to Addy. He'll try to work his way in, does so. Strong take right through McCauley, and it's a 21-14 game. St. Mary's in front.
Leslie Addy playing with a lot of confidence. He was a double-digit scorer in the PAC championship game on Saturday. A big reason why Bethany's here right now.
Pass tipped out of bounds by British Alexander. Pass intended for Jeff Haas. Haas, 6'6" junior. And he can do some work down low. 95 rebounds on the year, second most on the team to Christian McCauley. Also averages 9 points per game. Inbounds pass goes to McCauley. He'll look right to Fitzpatrick. Now we'll slide right. 9:07 on the clock, first half. 7-point lead for the Seahawks. Fitzpatrick goes left Spencer, left quarter. Wise, now McCauley looking for Haas. Ball bounced past him, but recovered by Fitzpatrick. 6 on the shot clock, and now Spencer with the leader. No good. Back of the iron, offensive board, Fitzpatrick, and the putback spins in. 23-14, St. Mary's.
And that was a nice job by Jeff Haas boxing out Leslie Addy, allowing his teammate to get the rebound and the putback. St. Mary's by 9.
And Fitzpatrick had a two-lane highway, it seemed like, to that basket because of the box out. Nicely done by the Seahawks. Here's Wilcox. Dribbles right, finds Addy coming open, and that ball out of bounds off of Addy's knee.
I think Bethany will retain possession.
No, they're going to call that off of Fitzpatrick's knee. I apologize. Off of Fitzpatrick last.
Oh, you talk about open highways. Addy had one there. If he holds on to the basketball, he has himself a layup.
Inbounds pass goes to Alexander, looks left to Mabry. Mabry trying to spin his way forward. Pass in traffic, tipped and stolen. Fitzpatrick, high dribble, now tries to weave his way up the floor. Blocked by Alexander. Diving for the loose ball on the floor. And the official calling Fitzpatrick with the basketball on the sideline, out of bounds.
I think he could have called Fitzpatrick for traveling too that time. He slid about 4 or 5 feet down the floor. But a monster stuff by British Alexander. We talked about this during the season, that sometimes, whether it's Alexander or Wilcox or whoever on this Bethany team, if they reject a shot, sometimes that gives their teammates a little bit of added momentum, and we'll see if that pays off here on the offensive end.
Reese Mabry in the forecourt for Bethany. Bison trailing 23-14. Leslie Addy, top of the key, looks right to Wilcox. Now to double team, has Alexander. Alexander, head fake, works his way to the cylinder. There is a block by McCauley. So we've had a couple of blocks. The last two trips up the floor by both teams, by each team's respective block later. And there's a nice dish in the bucket. And Jeff Haas makes it a 25-14 lead for St. Mary's.
Biggest lead of the game at 11. Coach Andrew Sachs will call timeout for the Bison with 7:36 remaining. Again, St. Mary's 25, Bethany 14. Largest lead of the game at 11 for the Seahawks.
And again, glad you can be with us on the PAC Sports Network. You can catch us at www.pacstream.net. Also, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. So certainly follow along as the Bethany Bison of the President's Athletic Conference on the road tonight against St. Mary's College of the Capital Athletic Conference. And certainly a tough conference St. Mary's participates in. And we talked about their rugged schedule. And here they are again in the NCAA tournament. They collected one of those at-large bids. And not a lot of those to go around, but based on tradition and another tough schedule and putting up a 19-win year, St. Mary's back in the tournament again, and we've got another quick timeout.
Just real quick to finish up a earlier thought that we had talking about the trip down here. You mentioned the nice weather. It had to be at 70 degrees outside, sunshine, southeast Maryland. I was walking around campus here at St. Mary's, very green. Trying to make everybody back home in western Pennsylvania or northern West Virginia a little bit jealous right now from the weather that we've had down here. But it was a great trip, and it was nice to get away just because of the weather down here after a couple of rainy days back home.
Absolutely, and we understand that plenty of rain in the St. Mary's City area as well, and beautiful campus, as you noted, on a beautiful day. And we have to thank the folks here at St. Mary's for welcoming us in and then setting up the accommodations. We're atop the gymnasium here with our camera and broadcast setup, and glad we can be here. The folks at St. Mary's treating us well, and glad to venture outside of the PAC. Obviously, we call games primarily in the President's Athletic Conference, but happy to check out a new gymnasium, a new school in the campus, and a beautiful place here.
Best seat in the house up here, high atop our perch, and the Seahawks Nest. I don't know if that's a name that the students might give this. I saw it was on the baseball field outside, the Hawks Nest, but I guess we can use it inside since it technically still is winter sports.
Yeah, we'll call it that, although spring sports now starting for colleges everywhere.
A lot of kids outside on the campus today, their lacrosse sticks in hand.
Well, back underway out of the timeout. Reese Mabry with the basketball. Bethany trailing by 11, 25-14. Leslie Addy, left side of the lane. The lay-in off the window, and it's 25-16 St. Mary's.
Over top of Haas and McCauley, couple of shot blockers. Nice take by Addy, good strong take. That's more of what Bethany needs to do, especially when the outside shot isn't falling. Take it inside, you'll pick up a foul, just like Jeff Haas did right there on British Alexander.
Alexander helping Haas out a bit. Haas really just spinning his way toward the basket. Alexander goes high into the air, comes down right on top of Jeff Haas, so that draws the foul, the first on Alexander in the game.
A little overeager that time from number 11 in green.
Inbounds pass, Laguerre out to McCauley. He'll hand it off to Laguerre, head fake. Bounce pass, McCauley comes free. Shot blocked by Alexander. Good save attempt to Wilcox. It's bobbled out of bounds by McCauley. Trying to draw the call, won't get it. And Bethany basketball as the Bison trailing St. Mary's 25-16. 6:52 to go in the first half.
We talked about McCauley. I guess we should have talked about Alexander being a shot blocking presence, leading the PAC conference all year in block shots. Another rejection right there.
Set a Bethany record last year for blocks in a season with 67. And he certainly is on his way for the school's all-time lead, but right there he's on his way to a travel.
Shuffle that pivot foot a little bit in the referee's eyes, and ball will go back over to the Seahawks. 6:38 remaining in the opening half. 25-16, St. Mary's lead.
First round of the NCAA tournament, 25-16 St. Mary's leading Bethany. 6.5 to go in the first half. There's a steal by Reese Mabry. Mabry into the forecourt now. Will slide left past the Barton. Barton with the pull-up jump shot. Drains that one. 25-18 now the score.
That's Barton's 4th point on minimal shots. I think he's taken 3 or 4 tonight. Knocked down a couple of them. A couple of long-range ones, too, just inside the 3-point line on that one.
Barton averages 13 points per game. He's got 4 already. Now McCauley with a basketball for St. Mary's. Dribbles right, hands it off to Kyle Wise, 5'9" sophomore. Wise out of Baltimore, Maryland. Work it to McCauley, high off the window, no good. Barton has it carry him off of him, right to British Alexander. So Bethany, after they had fallen behind by 11, trying to trim the lead some more. Mabry, left side of the lane, now out to Addy for 3. No good. McCauley gets the rebound for the Seahawks. Up ahead now to Laguerre. Alley-oop pass, this time the lay-in, no good by McCauley. Rebound Alexander. You have to watch McCauley because he's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Wilcox loses the ball out of bounds, but off of St. Mary's.
Well, even when St. Mary's doesn't get the turnover, they're still harassing the ball, knocking it out of bounds, making Bethany inbound the basketball, reset their offense, just being a pain to the Bison, trying to get in some kind of offensive rhythm in this game.
25-18 St. Mary's. Bethany in possession again. James Barton guarded by Laguerre. Tries to work off of him. Loose ball on the floor. Barton has it. Releases the pass to Wilcox. Now Bethany. Shot no good by Wilcox. The rebound goes to Devin Spencer. Spencer. He'll try the right side of the lane. Take, no good. Good defense there by Pacific. He got the hand in the face of Spencer, not allowing him any easy takes. Now pass toward Pacific, tipped out of bounds by Spencer. Bethany will retain possession.
And that was one of those, I think, that James Barton would like to have back. He may have had a lane there if he just takes it himself instead of trying to force that pass to Pacific. But regardless, Bethany will retain the basketball.
Bounce pass toward Alexander. Nearly triple team there. Ball swiped by Spencer. Now to Laguerre. Pass to a cutter, McFall. And we've got a whistle and a foul here on Bethany.
I thought McFall might have taken 2, 3, maybe even 4 steps that time coming down the lane. But he gets the benefit of the doubt. He'll head to the free throw line.
I think Coach Andrew Sachs of the Bethany Bison might agree with you, as he is demonstrating that to the officials in terms of where he or how he caught the ball, then took some steps, but nonetheless at the line. McFall with the free throw, and it's good.
Extending that St. Mary's lead to 8 with 4:38 remaining.
And McFall, the sophomore out of Poolesville, Maryland,
55% free throw shooter. If the percentage is correct, he should miss this one then, having made the first.
Second free throw is good. Well, he beats the statistics there. It's both of his free throws. He has 4 points, and it's a 27-18 lead for St. Mary's. McFall, very talented player, rated one of the top 100 players in the D.C. area. And there's a miss by Bethany, now pushing the floor. Here come the Seahawks, leading by 9. 4:22 to go in the first half. Bounce pass, Jeff Haas. Wise, left side. McFall pass stolen by Addy, but out of bounds with the tiptoe trying to stay in bounds, out of bounds as it turns out on the baseline. Wise to send it in. Does so to McFall, guarded by Barton. McFall dribbles out of the left quarter, out to Laguerre. Now to Wise. 15 seconds on the shot clock as the Seahawks content to take their time on this possession. Fitzpatrick looking for Haas inside. Instead, will go outside to Laguerre. Now has Wise, baseline drive. He'll dribble all the way through. Now spinning toward the backboard, gets the shot up late. There was a near shot clock violation, but the rebound by Bethany.
Regardless of who got that rebound, the ball never hit the rim, so it would have been a shot clock violation. How wanted the Seahawks to come down with that rebound.
Mabry directs the offense. Bethany trailing by 9. There's a steal by Fitzpatrick up ahead. Haas now to Laguerre across the timeline. Right wing, Wise bounce past McFall. Backs his way in, outside. Fitzpatrick for 3. No good, back of the iron. McFall, though, with the offensive board. Long pass out, and Laguerre keeps it in the forecourt.
Fresh shot clock for the Seahawks. They'll slow it down. Still 25 to shoot.
Lobbed and passed toward Haas. Haas up and under off the glass and good. 11-point lead again for St. Mary's, 29-18.
Yeah, nice moves by the big guy, number 21 in white. Up and under, reverse lay-in.
Barton will dribble left just in front of the half-court stripe. 29-18 St. Mary's, and Barton draws a foul from Laguerre.
Team foul number 6 on St. Mary's. One more, and Bethany will be shooting the basketball. Right now we have a timeout on the floor.
Glad you can be along with us on the PAC Sports Network tonight. Also like to welcome those on the Bethany campus from Weimer Lecture Hall, as we understand, watching this one tonight. So glad to have you all along as well. And surely several folks following the St. Mary's Seahawks this year along with us tonight. Glad to have you along as well. Exciting contest, 29-18, St. Mary's leading in the first half, 2:50 on the clock at the opening round of the NCAA Division III tournament.
There's quite a few of those St. Mary's fans here. I'm not sure how many are actually watching. They seem to have packed this gym pretty well, especially on this side. Across the way, there's a few empty seats, but for the most part, we're almost at capacity in the gym here, the Michael O'Brien Center.
Seats about 1,200 this gymnasium. And we're pretty well packed so far tonight, that's for sure, as you noted.
This entire building's really nice. We were walking through it earlier, just walking in here with all of our equipment. They have a climbing wall across the way. They have a weight room. They have an ab room, an aerobics room. They have a room that you want to just work out in and do yoga. You can do that, just an empty room with mats in there. They have it all in the center, and this is a very nice gymnasium. We saw the old gym across the way, too, and there's some kids shooting basketball, shooting volleyball. So if you're an active athlete, this is the building for you. You can do whatever you want in here.
A great facility, this O'Brien Athletics and Recreation Center, absolutely. Bethany, Nick Wilcox administers the inbounds pass as he lobs it in the backcourt to Reese Mabry. Bethany trying to trim this lead to single digits. Right now it's a 29-18 score in favor of the St. Mary's Seahawks. Wilcox stumbles, pass out to Barton, long distance tray attempt, no good. Haas with the board up ahead to McFall. McFall tries to run the floor, now to Spencer. Spencer off the window, no good. McFall put back attempt also misses, and now tripped down to the floor is Leslie Addy. By the way, Spencer still on the floor. Looks like he might have been no, it's certainly a head injury of some sort. Might have been poked in the eye.
I think he did get poked in the eye because he immediately went down to the floor, kind of grabbing his left eye. Right now he's up on his feet. He'll head towards the bench, but still not quite with himself. Something definitely bothering him up near his head region, possibly his eye.
That's tough when you have a shot go in the air, and then obviously Spencer's shot was a missed shot. You have bodies and arms and limbs flying everywhere, and there was one where unintentionally, apparently poked in the eye there was Devin Spencer. We certainly hope that he is okay as he gets checked on by the athletic trainer of the St. Mary's College Seahawks. In the meantime, Leslie Addy at the line here for a 1-and-1 attempt. First free throw is no good. He will not earn a second. And St. Mary's with the rebound. Lead remains 11 for St. Mary's. That last foul, by the way, charged to Brendan McFall, his first. As here's Jeff Haas. Tries for another up and under. He is fouled. Shot did not fall, but to shoot 2 this time, Jeff Haas.
He was looking for that foul call last time when he did make the lay-in. This time, lay-in was not converted, but he will head to the line. Jeff Haas, a junior from North Allegheny High School in the Pittsburgh area, 73% free throw shooter on the season.
Free throw up and good for Jeff Haas. Haas, a team captain on the St. Mary's squad, was an all-academic team selection last year out of the Capital Athletic Conference and out of North Allegheny High School in Western PA. As you noted, he was a first-team all-section player at NA his senior year, averaging 15 points per game. Also lettered in volleyball at North Allegheny. And
you do your research.
I try my best. Haas hits the second, and St. Mary's with a 31-18 lead. So Haas with 6 points in this game. And Bethany, with under 2 minutes to play in the first half, trying to get something going here. Brady Pacific guarded tightly, comes free for a jump shot. Nice move there by Pacific to work himself free of Jeff Haas, and drains that bucket. 31-20 the score.
Another big jumper made by the Bison. They have 5 players with 4 points right now to make up their 20 points. Wilcox is the only one of the 6 that has played that hasn't found the score sheet.
Bounce pass to Haas. Now it's Laguerre behind the back dribble with Mabry guarding. Haas, and he is fouled by Pacific. That'll be the second foul on Pacific.
Oz will head back to the charity line. Pacific looks like he may have got hit in the mouth or something. A little bit of blood in his lip, it looked like, as he walks off the floor.
Correction, that's actually the third foul on Pacific, so whether he is banged up or not, he's going to come off the floor anyway, and with that being his third foul.
Leslie Addy back into the game.
Other fouls amongst the Bethany players, 1 on Barton, 1 on Alexander, and 1 on Leslie Addy.
And that was team foul number 7.
And also 1 on Nick Wilcox. Yeah. So that accounts for the 7. But 3 already in foul trouble, Brady Pacific. And Pacific being treated as well by the athletic trainers here. Looked like the officials were checking the floor.
We may have some blood on the floor that needs to be taken care of.
And that is the case. So one of the athletic trainers now for St. Mary's runs quickly for a bottle and towel to take care of that blood issue. Brady Pacific apparently caught in the face by a wayward limb as well. Devin Spencer, who was apparently poked in the eye. He right now is on the bench for St. Mary's, but he looks to be okay right now, just watching on.
And no longer being tended to by the training staff, just sitting on the bench watching with a towel in hand. So we may see him before this half ends. 1:22 to go. St. Mary's holding on to a 31-20 lead over Bethany. Bethany's been able to chip into this lead a little bit, but never coming all the way back. The Seahawks have led throughout the opening half.
At the line, St. Mary's Seahawks, and Jeff Haas, free throw in the air, no good.
A couple of Seahawks checking in. Christian McCauley back in. Devon Gilmore.
McFall and Hutchinson check out of the game for the Seahawks. 1:22 on the clock, first half, 31-20 St. Mary's. Haas free throw, second one is good. So Haas 3 for 4 at the line. And it's a 12-point lead for St. Mary's. Across the timeline, Addy now to Wilcox. Wilcox finds resistance low, now pass to Addy. And the floater falls out, rebound McCauley. Unfriendly rim there.
Bethany's had to work for all their points so far. St. Mary's is not making it easy on the Bison.
There's Addy with a steal. Addy, though, ball bounced off of Devon Gilmore, then off of Addy and out of bounds. And that's a good call by the officials, as it went off of both of those players' legs and last to touch Addy.
Yeah, good call by the man in stripes down there. Bethany really needs to take better care of the basketball. I'm sure that'll be a topic of importance for Coach Sachs. Another minute when halftime comes.
44 seconds now remaining. Laguerre shot back of the iron. Rebound goes to Wise, and he'll bring it right back out. 32 on the shot clock, 36 on the game clock in the first half. So trying to eat up as much of that clock as they can, but they won't be able to, as Wilcox comes away with a steal for Bethany. Nice pass ahead to Mabry, 2-on-1. Now the defense catches up to the rest of the play. Mabry will dribble around now as the Bison will save for the last shot. 18 seconds to go as the shot clock turned on. Mabry dribbles left, guarded tightly by Gilmore. Around the screen, Mabry. Nice fake pass right. The tip by Alexander, no good. 4 seconds on the clock. Haas, bounce pass right. Wise lets defenders, well, actually one go by him, one land on top of him. The buzzer sounds, but there has to be a foul here before the buzzer.
I think that'll be Nick Wilcox getting the foul. Landing awkwardly on top of Kyle Wise. Wise will have a 1-and-1 attempt, I believe. I don't think they called that a shooting foul. With no time remaining in the first half.
He was still on the floor when he was fouled. Had not gone up toward the basket quite yet. Surely that was going to be his intention, but had not gotten to that point yet when he was fouled. And it will be a 1-and-1.
Officials also put 4/10 of a second back on the clock. So that's just enough time after the free throw to catch the ball or inbound the ball and chuck up a full court shot if you're the Bison.
And not a lot of time to do anything regardless of what happens on this free throw. First one in the air by Wise, no good. Ball touched, and that's the end of the first half. So time runs out in half number 1. The score, the St. Mary's Seahawks 32. The Bethany Bison 20. And so we'll obviously keep it here and take a quick look at what has transpired so far. We talked about some of the keys to this game and players down low. We talked about British Alexander for Bethany and also Christian McCauley for St. Mary's. Well, on the score sheet, Alexander has 4 points. McCauley has been kept scoreless thus far. That is something that Bethany has to like, that McCauley has not been on the scoreboard yet. So they certainly are defending him quite well. The misfortune for Bethany is that Devin Spencer has been red hot from the outside. He has 14 points, including 4 trays in the first half. So that has really been, with St. Mary's leading by 12, that right there is the difference in the game.
In terms of defense, that has been the difference. In terms of offense for the Bison, they have to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Been too many times where the Bison have come across half court, tried to force a pass, or on an inbounds pass, tried to force a pass, and there's a Seahawk going the other direction with the basketball. And that's got to be a point that Coach Sachs stresses at halftime. Take better care of the basketball, make better decisions, and not rush. A lot of times when you're playing teams on the road and the home team tries to dictate the pace, and sometimes the road team or the away team will come in and try and play outside their zone or outside their comfort zone, outside of themselves. And that's kind of how I feel Bethany is playing right now. Just not doing a good job of taking care of the basketball, trying to do a little too much in forcing some of these passes. We have halftime stats here in front of us right now. Just something that jumps off the page right now is rebounding. St. Mary's 8 offensive rebounds. That'll be another area that Coach Sachs stresses to his club. 8 offensive rebounds. They got to attack the defensive glass much, much stronger in the second half if they want to come back in this game, facing a 12-point deficit right now.
Well, while we have a moment at halftime, again, glad that we can have you along with us on the PAC Sports Network tonight. And for those of you that follow us regularly out of the President's Athletic Conference, we have been there since the first conference game of the year, and we've shared some great moments along the season. And for those of you out of the Capital Athletic Conference, we'll share with you as well some of what we have seen this year in terms of the tremendous moments along the way in the President's Athletic Conference, as seen right here on the PAC Sports Network. And we'll go to that as our halftime feature. When we come back, we're going to have Bethany SID Brian Rose. So let's go to our halftime feature right now. Looked like instinct that led Kelly Muffley to that basket. Here's Hackathorn. Baseline to Tarmina. Bethany trailing by 6. Three-pointer for Wilson. And that's over 1,000 now. And a quick timeout by head coach Rebecca Upton. So there is now 1,000 and then some for Annie Wilson. 17 points today. Congratulations to Annie Wilson for that feat. Look to Patterson, out to Marmelstein. Goes to Patterson in the left quarter. And out to Marmelstein again for 3. Drains it. 5-0 Grove City. In a game against Waynesburg, running up and down the floor. 3-point try by Marmelstein, and we've got 3-pointers everywhere. Grove City retaking the lead 12-11. 5'7" freshman out of Seneca Valley. Will streak in between a couple of defenders as Marmelstein for 3, and he nails it. 21-19 the score. Westminster leading by 2. So he is one that if you leave him open, here's Marmelstein open again. He rattles one home. Look out, Mitch Marmelstein, 24-22. The lead cut to 2 for Westminster. Out of danger. Now with a player draped all over him, gets a pass to Marmelstein, and he hits another 3-pointer. Out to Durbin. Marmelstein for 3. Game is tied. Mitch Marmelstein gets back at it. 80-78, Wolverines on top. 4.9 to go. Mitch Marmelstein to shoot his second of 2 free throws. And Westminster, they'll have to hurry up the floor after this shot. And depending upon the results of this shot, whether it'll be a 3-pointer or 2-pointer that's necessary. Westminster has been lights out from 3-point land. Free throw no good. 2-point game. 3 seconds on the clock. Doug Smith will put up the 3, and it is no good. Grove City holds on for an 80-78 victory in our PAC game of the week. An exciting finish. Inbounds pass, tipped by Wilcox, near steal, 13 seconds on the clock. Adams trying to hand it off to Harvey. Tight defense by Addy, 8 seconds on the clock. Harvey, Rosenblatt, deep 3, and it is no good off the side of the rim. Adams trying to go back, takes a 3-pointer. It's blocked by Addy, and that's your ball game. The Bethany Bison end an 18-game regular season home winning streak for the Teal Tomcats, and the Bison with a 70-67 victory here today. Thomas Moore to inbound it. Handling those duties to Carlo Hayes. 1.4 to go. 2-point lead for the Presidents. Hayes looking for someone. Has a man there. 3-point shot is up, and it's good! Thomas Moore wins it. Todd Croman with the buzzer beater. His second 3 of the game. And Thomas Moore with a 67-66 victory. Do you believe it?
That was ridiculous ending, Randy. Absolutely ridiculous. Croman finding himself all alone. Couple Thomas Moore Saints running around the corner, setting picks. Croman found himself wide open at the top of the 3-point arc. Buried it for the 67-66 victory for the Saints. What more can you say? What a fantastic finish.
Glad you can be back with us on the PAC Sports Network. Opening round of the NCAA tournament. Right now, St. Mary's College leading Bethany 32-20 at halftime. With us now is Bethany SID Brian Rose. Thanks for being with us, first of all. And obviously, the Bison on the trailing end of a 12-point lead right now for St. Mary's. But your thoughts on what's transpired in the first half and what your take is on what Bethany needs to do in the second half.
Tough first half in terms of offensive rebounds on the St. Mary's side. They've got 8 offensive rebounds. Led to 12 second chance points. And also, more importantly, we're shooting 37% from the floor, but it doesn't feel that way because we're getting one shot, and St. Mary's is cleaning up the glass on their end defensively. So it's one and done for us, and that's going to be a key for the second half, is to get us, the Bison, on the offensive glass, get some second chance points. It's something we led the PAC this year in offensive rebounding, and we're going to need to really pick it up. But give credit to St. Mary's. They're big in the front court. They're doing a good job protecting the glass and boxing us out, and especially on the weak side. And they're just really getting after it on the boards right now.
That's been a 25-win season thus far for Bethany. Who knows after tonight whether there's another one tacked onto that. But obviously it's been a great season so far for Bethany. Another PAC crown, back-to-back PAC titles. Talk about in terms of how this program has developed, and obviously Bethany has a great basketball tradition in terms of where the basketball program has come and how this season has really capped things so far.
Well, the turnaround really started in the late 80s, well, more in the 90s. The program hit kind of a downspin and really turned it around early 2000s. Rob Clune was a head coach at the time and got a senior class. All-time leading scorer Keith Schubert really turned things around, along with Nevada Smith, Todd McGinnis, guys like that, Scotty Johnson. I'm trying to get all the names because I know they're going to yell at me if I leave them out. But they won back-to-back titles in 01 and 02, and that really started turning things around. And when those guys graduated, there were two juniors, Mike Mays and Derek Hoffman, the late Derek Hoffman, and they were seniors when Matt and Mike Drehos came into the program, and then those guys took the program, won back-to-back PAC titles in 04 and 05, and then 05, 06, and it just kept building from there. The PAC tournament just had its 11th season this year, and Bethany's won 5 conference tournament championships, been in the title game 7 times, and it really started with 01, but then you've got guys that have just progressed things, and it's been senior leadership. And this year we're a little younger, but when you win 25 games, we've had guys like Nick Wilcox, who's played every game since he's been on campus, and James Barton, who transferred in, and Reese Mayberry, who transferred in, and we got British Alexander to transfer in. And that infusion of talent that came in with Coach Sachs 3 years ago has really propelled us, and we've built from a 19-win team, Coach Sachs' first year in an ECAC appearance, to 21 wins and then 25 wins, the school record this year. So tremendous year. You know, we hope it's going to keep going, but nothing's really going to diminish what we accomplished this year.
In terms of individual performances, we've talked about the team aspect of it in terms of 25 wins, but Nick Wilcox, PAC Player of the Year, British Alexander, a first-team All-Conference selection, and Reese Mabry, a second-team All-Conference. Obviously a great year for those guys. Yeah,
British Alexander last year set the single-season block shot record. Probably would have got it again this year. He missed a couple games because of injury. Nick Wilcox is a stat stuffer. That's what Coach Sachs calls him. He gets a little bit of everything every game. And the PAC Player of the Year set a single-season school record for steals. Already has the career steals record at Bethany. First player in Bethany history to be over 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 200 assists, 200 steals. I could give numbers on him all day. And Reese Mabry has really grown into that point guard role. And last year he had over 80 steals. This year 75 or something like that. So a real defensive demon for us. And those guys have really carried us on both ends of the floor, both British on the glass, Nick on the glass, and also defensively on the perimeter with what Nick and Reese can do.
Obviously Bethany representing the PAC in this NCAA tournament here tonight, and I'm sure a lot of folks from the conference watching this one to see how Bethany does and rooting them on as they are representing the conference. We shared earlier some highlights of, at least through our eyes in the PAC Sports Network, as to some of the great basketball we have seen this year. Talk about, from a conference standpoint, how the conference, the quality of play in terms of basketball, what it is now and how it has grown.
Well, I would say that this is probably the deepest the conference has been during this run that Bethany's had. Now, part of it is because we've expanded, Thomas More joining quite a few years ago, now Geneva and St. Vincent joining us. But, you look at 4 teams who won 19 or more games in the conference this year. Any 4 of those teams could have won the tournament. Bethany caught a bit of a break in the quarterfinal round when W&J upset number 2 Teal. I mean, that was a big battle that we had, the last 2 years. But you look at the overall talent with St. Vincent in the 4 seed, they've always got players. Thomas More with Coach Jeff Rogers, the PAC Coach of the Year, and doing a great job. Took him to the championship game, second time in 3 years. Teal with Tim Loomis, they were in a championship game last year. Got off to a 10-0 start this year. So, and not to overlook the teams that didn't finish in the top half. You've got Grove City, who might have been playing some of the best basketball in the conference towards the end of the year, and they were tough out as a 5 seed. Westminster's got a couple very good players, and W&J very young, like 12 or more freshmen on the roster. Geneva, transitioning into Division III, had a lot of seniors and some good ball players this year. So overall, top to bottom, I think it's a very, very deep league. And, you know, it was a true challenge for Bethany to get 14 wins in the league this year and be able to represent the conference in the NCAA tournament.
And I'll ask you one quick question. In terms of spring sports, what's Bethany have on tap? They have the reigning softball champions in the PAC.
Yep, softball team under Coach Forsty. She's in her 25th year. They were just picked to win the PAC again on the preseason poll that was released today. The baseball team under Coach Carver a couple years ago were in the ECAC semifinals. They bring quite a few bats back, still trying to find, they've got some young arms they're going to be toting the mound for them. The track team is very good. We set a lot of school records last year. We've got a potential NCAA qualifier both on the track in Arcangelo James. He's from Pittsburgh area, went to Baldwin High School, and also Ben Gregg. He was provisional qualifier in the javelin last year, and also some very good women, especially younger sprinters. Men's tennis, which is led by Coach Sachs. They last year, I think, won 6 or 7 matches, and that was the most in quite a while for them. And our golf team, led by our assistant men's basketball coach, Adam May. So those guys are taking the success from the basketball court and trying to bring it into the spring sports. And we also have a men's lacrosse team that's in their second varsity season. Tough loss in their opener, but you know it showed the progress that they made from the first season into the second season, that they only lost a game by 1 goal.
Well, both teams back out on the floor right now, so we'd like to thank you. This is SID Brian Rose of the Bethany College Bison, and thanks for your time, and good luck to you in the Bison here in the second half.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back on the PAC Sports Network. And welcome back on the PAC Sports Network. Just underway, second half. Reese Mabry and the Bethany Bison with the basketball. And British Alexander on the low blocks, ball out of bounds. Off of Alexander, and quickly a turnover to start the second half by the Bison. Certainly not what Coach Andrew Sachs wants from his perspective.
Yeah, absolutely not. They got to cut down on the turnovers, particularly the inopportune time turnovers. And what I mean by that is every time Bethany seems to chip in a lead or have a little bit of offensive momentum, they'll throw the basketball away or some other kind of turnover, and St. Mary's will take advantage and score on the other end. So that really hurts you on the offensive end and also doesn't help you on the defensive end. Basically giving up 2 points on one end and losing 2 points on the other.
St. Mary's owning a 32-20 lead coming out of halftime. Ball poked out of bounds by Bethany. And offensive boards clearly an issue for the Bison, and giving up an 8-rebound disadvantage to the St. Mary's College Seahawks in the first half, something they'll try to rectify, but we certainly noted the height advantage that the Seahawks have in this game, and they have been using it.
Well, St. Mary's actually shot it at a worse clip than the Bison in the first half. 35% for the Seahawks, 37% for the Bison. There's a nice take, strong take by Nick Laguerre. He gets the basket and the chance for the three-point play. But St. Mary's not shooting the basketball as well as the Bison, 35 to 37%. The difference was on the offensive boards. St. Mary's coming down with 8 offensive rebounds and out-rebounding the Bison on the whole, or as a whole, 23 to 15.
So Laguerre at the line to try and complete the three-point play. Ball in the air, and he sinks the free throw. 35 to 20, largest lead of the game now for St. Mary's, 35-20.
Well, there's that full court press. St. Mary's used it in the first half, and they open up the second half with the same look. Just harassing the Bethany ball handlers. James Barton dribbling the basketball right now near half court.
Barton passed to Leslie Addy, top of the key, tries to spin his way through the lane. Scoop shot, nicely done. Leslie Addy with 6 points. First bucket of the second half for the Bison. 35-22 the score, Seahawks in front.
And he's the leading scorer for the Bison with those 6 points.
Hutchinson, top of the key, right side, has Spencer. Devin Spencer, the do-everything type player for St. Mary's. Leader in assists. And he has certainly been hot from the outside of this one, already burying 4 3-pointers. And back in the game is here. Laguerre will take a 3-point try. Side of the iron, fight for the rebound. Loose ball. Eventually coming away with it, it's Reese Mabry. Mabry, good move around Spencer. Slips his way around, now has Addy open for 3, and Addy buries it. 10-point lead for St. Mary's, 35-25.
First hit from the outside for the Bison. 0 for 7 in the first half. Addy drains the first attempt here in the second half.
Loose ball steal. Mabry up ahead. Lead pass for Barton, and it's swiped away by Laguerre. Barton wasn't quite ready for that lead pass, and an easy lay-in the other way for Devin Spencer.
And that's one of those instances where Mayberry has to take better care of the basketball. Tried to force that pass to Barton, and quickly the Seahawks went the other way for an easy transition lay-in.
Back to a 12-point lead for the Seahawks, 37-25. Addy, alley-oop. Pulling the ball down, Alexander finds Wilcox cutting, and he is fouled. That foul on the floor. First team foul in the second half for either team. And that one will be charged to Chris Hutchinson, and that is his third.
Bethany with a player already with 3 fouls. Brady Pacific on the bench. Now the Seahawks pick up a player with 3 fouls. Hutchinson will head to the bench with his third foul.
And when Pacific came out of the game with his third foul, had a face issue where he apparently was bleeding a bit, and right now he has an ice pack on his mouth sitting on the bench. Here's a 3-point try by Barton, no good. Rebound tipped out of Wilcox's hands and into the arms of Brendan McFall. Now for 3, Spencer. Oh, he continues his red-hot shooting. Devin Spencer makes it 40-25, St. Mary's.
5th 3 of the night. These students are loving that. Biggest lead for St. Mary's, 15 points.
That ignites the crowd here at the O'Brien Center. Lehner, no good for Barton. Rebound, tipped. Alexander trying to save it, and it will go out of bounds off of Alexander on that save attempt.
Right now, Bethany's just getting beat on the boards. Wanted to come out after halftime, do a better job on the offensive and defensive glass, and right now it's just not going their way, whether it's St. Mary's beating them to the ball or the ball just bouncing in the Seahawks' favor. Bethany just can't do anything right in terms of rebounding right now.
Timeout immediately upon the inbounds pass. This one will be called by St. Mary's. And so we'll pause with that timeout. Chris Hardy in his 7th year, the head coach of St. Mary's, calling that one. Bethany led by their head coach Andrew Sachs in his 3rd year with the Bison. And you heard from Bethany SID Brian Rose at halftime chatting with us. And this is a Bethany men's program that continues to grow. And what a great year by Nick Wilcox as well, talking about some of the individual performances. They give you an idea of the type of year and career that Wilcox has had, the product out of Peters Township High School in Western PA. Wilcox is the only player in the program's 104-year history to surpass 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 200 assists, and 200 steals. Job well done.
That's an impressive resume, doing it all.
Well, and as Brian Rose had called him in more or less quoting Coach Andrew Sachs, and Coach Sachs had told us that same exact thing, that Wilcox is a stat stuffer, and saying that obviously is a high compliment, a high regard. He just does it on so many different levels on the floor. Right now, Bethany needing Wilcox and others to step up here in the NCAA tournament, as Bethany trailing by 15 with 16:44 on the clock. Still plenty of time in this second half, but the way the momentum sits right now, it's certainly on the side of the St. Mary's Seahawks.
And Wilcox, you mentioned he's a stat stuffer, a couple of assists, a block, a steal. No points yet in this game. Only Bethany player that has been in the game, not yet find the basket.
And he's their leading scorer, averaging 15 points per game. So both teams' leading scorers have been shut down, but St. Mary's has been surviving on the shooting, and really more than surviving. They've been thriving on the shooting of Devin Spencer, who already has 19 points in this game. Got a foul on the other end of the floor here.
That foul was on British Alexander. That was his third personal foul. Bethany with a couple players with 3 fouls now.
Spencer from 3 again, and he drains another. Devin Spencer makes it 43-25.
He can't miss right now. He just can't do anything wrong from the field.
Spencer with 22 now. His 6th tray of the game. Leslie Addy bobbles the steal up ahead to Spencer. He bobbles but holds it. There's a shot blocked from behind. Boy, Spencer's feeling it. Yeah, you can see the three-pointer coming.
I was just going to say that. He's going to pull up and shoot that 3. Wilcox was there with the block.
Now Barton from long distance, no good. Rebound, Alexander had it, but loses it to McCauley.
St. Mary's will slow it down. Kyle Wise will walk this ball up the court. No hurry now from the Seahawks. We're going to nurse this 18-point lead for all it's worth.
McCauley, the talented sophomore for St. Mary's. He's the team leader in rebounds with 188 entering today's play. And there's the dunk on the alley-oop by McCauley. 20-point lead by St. Mary's.
Well, that's the way to get on the score sheet. Emphatic dunk from Christian McCauley. 20-point lead for the Seahawks.
Better late than never getting on the score sheet there by McCauley, and does it in a big and impressive way. There's an answer by British Alexander with the soft touch from the big 6'6" senior. And now a timeout called by Andrew Sachs, and Bethany needs to regroup right now, trailing 45-27.
Well, this is the part where Bethany needs to go on some sort of run or something. St. Mary's 18-point lead, and they look in control here at home.
Well, that alley-oop dunk by McCauley, this crowd was already going.
It's not just the nice weather either outside. They love their basketball down here. St. Mary's City, St. Mary's College of Maryland.
The O'Brien Center erupting on that dunk moments ago. Glad you can be with us on the PAC Sports Network. You can find us www.pacstream.net. Also friend us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. Right now, St. Mary's with a commanding 45-27 lead, 15-10 to go in the ball game. McCauley accepts the inbounds pass, quickly up ahead to Kyle Wise. There's some strong defense and a steal by Bethany. Reese Mabry, pull-up jumper, spins that one in, 45-29. Bethany trying to slowly work their way back in. Now full court defense, tip, loose ball, stolen away. Wilcox takes it to the cylinder, gets it to fall off the window and one.
I think they called an offensive foul on Nick Wilcox there.
Oh my, backtrack on that one. Don't count the bucket. Third foul on Wilcox.
Yeah, I saw that the way you did, Randy, but officials saw it another way. That'll be foul number 3 on Nick Wilcox. Bethany's in a world of hurt right now. 14-51, not only are they down 16, but a trio of players with 3 fouls. And we've already talked about repeatedly how deep the Bethany bench is and how many players off that bench Coach Sachs likes to use. And right now he might dip into that bench a little bit more with 3 players with 3 fouls.
Yeah, may have to. Usually you see 6 in the Bethany Bison lineup with Brady Pacific, the first man, and usually the only man off the bench. At times, in games that we have covered, we'll see Dylan Gravatt, 6'3" freshman, Delonte Joyce, a 6-foot freshman, and Ryan Summers, a 6-foot senior. Those are your next 3 candidates to see off the bench, and at this rate, with 3 players with 3 fouls, with 14:51 to go in the game, you're likely to see at least one of those aforementioned players off the bench. St. Mary's, they use much more of their bench. Typically the top 2 off the bench you see Jeff Haas and Mike Fitzpatrick, and we have certainly seen a lot of them. Jeff Haas with 7 points off the bench, but the highlight reel tonight has been Devin Spencer with 22 points and 6 3-pointers.
Not from one spot on the arc either. They've been all around the arc. Wherever he catches the basketball, he wants to shoot it, and most of the time he makes it.
Division III record in the NCAA tournament for 3-pointers in a game is 12. In case you're thinking along those lines, he's still got a ways to go. But we'll still keep track at the rate he's been shooting. And with 14:40 to go, you just never know. Ball out of bounds. That'll be off of Bethany.
You're all about the research. Love the stats.
It's the tournament. Got to be ready. I'm Randy Gore with Justin Piles and our producer David Singer on the PAC Sports Network.
Dave Singer's eyes lit up when he saw the coffee being served across the way on campus.
Another one of the many features here at St. Mary's. How about another 3-pointer? Speaking of features, we'll feature another tray by Devin Spencer. That's number 7 now. He has 25, and St. Mary's with a 48-29 lead.
You mentioned that record in jest. He still has a half to knock down 5 more threes.
Mabry with the answer for 3. Makes it 48-32.
Just a second 3-pointer made by Bethany. It's a near steal by Nick Wilcox.
Laguerre to Spencer. Head fake. Well, he wanted another 3 attempt, but he'll kick it out to Kyle Wise instead, the 5'9" sophomore.
You know he'll get the ball back, though. Number 11, itching to shoot that basketball. He might even chuck it up from there.
Left corner, Laguerre, bounce pass, McFall. There's a steal by Mabry, forcing a pass to McCauley. It was McFall. And now Mabry. Mentioned he is one of the top thieves in the PAC this year, right behind his teammate Nick Wilcox. Mabry second in the conference with 71 entering tonight. Here's Barton with a high shot off the window. Wilcox putback is good off the window. Makes it 48-34, 14-point lead for St. Mary's. And now a timeout called by Chris Hardy of the Seahawks.
First points of the night for Nick Wilcox. Give him 2 and a rare offensive rebound for the Bison, who are just getting dominated on the glass tonight here at Ed Cole Court inside the Michael O'Brien Athletic Center.
St. Mary's certainly has been dominating, as you said. The offensive boards dominating the paint, Justin Piles, tonight have been the Seahawks.
Absolutely. They're really using their length to their strength. No pun intended or rhyming correlation there, but that's just the way the Seahawks have been playing and being able to take it to the undersized. Well, pretty much everybody they play is undersized. Not too many teams can pull off the height that they do. Like we mentioned in the open, a couple kids run 6'8", a couple 6'6", and a couple more 6'5", 6'4". So they have a lot of height over there on that Seahawks bench. Putting it to good use tonight. 14-point lead, 48-34. St. Mary's in front of Bethany in this opening round game of the NCAA tournament.
2 teams here tonight, Bethany and St. Mary's. They have never met. This is the first meeting all time between these 2 schools, and if they have any say in the matter, they hope that they meet more often, because that'll mean they're both in the NCAA tournament quite often as well. This is another appearance for St. Mary's. They have made it to the Sweet 16, as we mentioned, 3 of the last 4 years. There's the ball out of bounds off the hands of Jeff Haas.
Unforced error by St. Mary's that time. We saw a little spurt in the first half where they had difficulty taking care of the basketball. And that was another instance right there, just off the hands of Haas.
Nick Wilcox looks for Alexander. He'll take the 2-point jumper. This one no good, though. Jeff Haas with the rebound, leaning, tiptoeing the baseline, gets the ball ahead to Wise. Now in the forecourt, double team put on, but gets the ball away quickly. Laguerre, he'll take the pull-up jump shot, and he'll drain that one 50-34, St. Mary's. Laguerre, another one of those good outside shooters. Wilcox tries to answer, shot blocked by McCauley. Alexander gets to the loose ball, though. Now in trouble on the low blocks, kicks it out to Mabry. Head fake, slides right, now around to Scrape. Mabry looking for Alexander. Instead, will go to Wilcox, pass right corner, Barton. Barton off the window, no good. Ball tipped, rebound, Jeff Haas up ahead to Spencer. Spencer with 7 trays in the game. We'll look it off now to Wise.
Oh, and St. Mary's can even get a hand on the basketball. They're tipping it to a teammate down on the defensive glass. Great job of rebounding by the Seahawks squad.
12-13 remaining in the game. 50-34 St. Mary's. Laguerre fakes left, goes right, has Wise. Wise bounce past the Haas. Low blocks, he's hampered. The ball stripped away. Bethany with the initial steal, and then a foul here on St. Mary's.
That'll be on Jeff Haas. going after that rebound, barreling into Nick Wilcox. Just his first and just the second team foul on St. Mary's.
3 team fouls on Bethany in this second half. 12 minutes to go. 50-34, 16-point lead for St. Mary's. Barton to Wilcox. Bounce pass has Alexander trying to back his way in. Leaning shot, no good. Rebound, Haas. Tough defense moments ago by McCauley. Haas trying to go coast to coast, but he's fouled.
Nice take by Jeff Haas that time. We already see McCauley soar for a dunk. That time Haas was going for it with the right hand. That foul was on Leslie Addy, and we have a timeout on the floor right now. St. Mary's has all the momentum in this game, up 16, and really has rode this wave of momentum for all the second half, enjoying this double-digit lead.
It was 45-25 at its largest at 20 points. And that run capped on a alley-oop dunk by Christian McCauley. Since then, Bethany has chipped slightly into the lead, but it's still a big 16-point advantage for St. Mary's right now with 11:38 to go, as you see the folks here enjoying the atmosphere and the lead at the O'Brien Recreation Center. 50-34 St. Mary's.
Taking a quick look at the NCAA bracket. Winner of this contest will travel to Virginia Wesleyan, take on the Marlins down there in Norfolk, Virginia. Virginia Wesleyan ranked 7th in the country, most Division III polls.
That'll be a Saturday game. Winner of this one taking on Virginia Wesleyan, getting a first-round bye with a 25-3 record. Bethany Bison entering with a 25-3 record tonight, champions of the President's Athletic Conference. Regular season champions of the Capital Athletic Conference, St. Mary's College. They entered with a 19-7 record, finishing 13-3 in conference play in the regular season. They were knocked out in the conference tournament semifinals by York, who are also obviously, well, they were able to win the conference championship, but they earned an automatic bid as the first free throw knocked down by Jeff Haas. Haas with 8 points. He's now 4 for 5 at the charity stripe. Second free throw, this one back of the iron, rebound Addy. Bethany trailing 51-34. Into the forecourt, Reese Mabry. Bounce pass, Addy. Now James Barton. Barton around a screen left. Dribbles left, Alexander, top of the key, trying to move in on McCauley. Two of the big guys going at it. And there, Alexander gets the lay-in, 51-36 the score.
Nice spin on that shot, spinning it up off the glass and in.
Spencer, pull-up two-pointer. No good back of the iron. It was too short for him.
He was too close that time.
Yeah, needed to be beyond the arc.
He'll back up and knock one down. He's got that look in his eye still.
Another offensive board, though, by the Seahawks. Near steal by Mabry. Haas will pass right. Now it's Spencer. Mabry guarding him. Dribbles right, goes right to Laguerre. Bounce pass, stolen away by Reese Mabry. Mabry trying to move in on Laguerre. Leader off the window, 51-38. Mabry with 9 points. Bethany trying to pick it up on the defensive end. Haas has the ball swiped away, and out of bounds with it is Leslie Addy on the baseline.
That was a good steal by Addy as Haas went up for that lay-in attempt. Unfortunately, his foot was on the end line, and St. Mary's will retain possession underneath the hoop.
Laguerre looks right. Near steal by Wilcox, but it caroms to McCauley. Now Laguerre, right side of the lane. Laner contact, offensive foul on Laguerre. That draws the ire of this gymnasium and Coach Chris Harney of the St. Mary's Seahawks.
Well, they haven't had a whole bunch to be displeased about, so we'll give them the rare opportunity right now to voice their displeasure.
Second foul on Laguerre. Full court defense here. Inbounds pass administered by Leslie Addy to Reese Mabry. Mabry Mabry directs traffic with his teammates. 10 minutes to go. We're halfway through the second half. 51-38 lead for St. Mary's. Three-pointer, Mabry, no good. McCauley with the board. There's Hutchinson trying to slither his way through the lane, but has the ball stolen away. Now Mabry the other way. Scoop shot blocked. Wilcox putback blocked by Haas, but there is Addy to save the day for Bethany. 51-40. Bethany has chipped this lead down to 11 now.
Nice job by the Bison that time, running without the basketball. A couple of shots rejected, but Addy was there to clean it up. Like you mentioned, Randy, this lead has been whittled down to 11. Still a commanding lead for St. Mary's, still in double digits, but Bethany with a little bit of momentum right now.
Big mountain to climb, and got to take it step by step. That's what Bethany has done thus far. Haas out to Wise. Two-point shot, back of the iron. Tip in, rattles out for McCauley. Haas, he's fouled, and if it's on Wilcox, which it looks like it'll be, that'll be his fourth.
You're right, Randy. Good eyes by you. Number 4 for Mr. Wilcox.
Wilcox reached in on that one. He got some of the ball, but also got some of the arm of Jeff Haas.
I think either way the officials went that time. British Alexander was also in the area. Would have been bad news for the Bison. Both those players with 3 fouls. Now Wilcox picked up his 4th.
Free throw. Hits off the back of the iron, the top of the glass, and then falls through.
And sometimes it's just going your way. Definitely going St. Mary's way right now. You don't see that too often.
It's the way you draw it up, right?
Right, yeah, you practice that all the time.
He'll take it. Jeff Haas with a second free throw attempt.
Sure, I'll try to make this one a little more conventionally.
And that one rattles in. 53-40, St. Mary's lead up to 13 points. In the backcourt, James Barton harassed by Haas. He gets the steal and he's fouled. Haas doing it on both ends of the floor.
And Barton picking up his dribble, and no teammate really came to help him out.
I don't think any of them realized quite yet that he was in danger, and by the time they did, the steal had occurred. Foul on the floor, of course.
And he kind of compounded the issue. Once that ball was loose, just bear hug Jeff Haas.
16 fouls on Bethany right now with 8:51 to go. 3 team fouls on St. Mary's. 53-40, Seahawks out to Wise. The pass from Spencer, bounce past McCauley, works his way in. Right-handed hook shot, falls out, rebound. Barton, but has the ball poked and stolen away. Hutchinson with the lay-in, 55-40. There's St. Mary's quickly regaining their momentum. Hutchinson with 6 points. A 6'3" junior out of Owings Mills, Maryland. James Barton dribbles right. Spencer comes out to guard. Teardrop, front of the rim. Rebound, Hutchinson. Hutchinson pushes the floor. Hutchinson, the scoop lay-in. Somehow got that ball around British Alexander. Beautifully done, 57-40.
Well, everything's going right now for St. Mary's. Coach Sachs will call timeout. Listen to this place erupt.
Frustration setting in a bit with the Bison, and Coach Andrew Sachs feeling that and calls a timeout. We'll have to settle his troops down. St. Mary's, as you said, everything going their way right now, leading 57-40. The lead was trimmed to 11 not all that long ago at 51-40. Quick 6-0 run by the Seahawks. And a large part of that, Chris Hutchinson, the last 2 buckets.
St. Mary's just not letting Bethany get into any kind of rhythm offensively. The Bison have had to work for all their points, getting out rebounded, especially in the offensive end, and just look out of sync right now. St. Mary's enjoying that 6-0 run to inflate their lead to 17. They look well on their way right now.
Look at that crowd. It's the NCAA tournament, folks. First round, St. Mary's College 57, Bethany 40. St. Mary's, as you can tell, enjoying the home court advantage here today. And enjoying a 17-point lead as well. Now that mountain that Bethany had to climb, well, they had somehow dropped the height on that mountain to 11 points, right back up to 17 again.
Right back up to 17 in a blink of an eye. St. Mary's team is very fast, very quick, very big. Right now they're a tough opponent for Bethany to mount a comeback against.
Now we're about to see the 7th player off the bench. 7th player in the game, if you will. 2nd player off the bench for Bethany. Dylan Gravatt administered the inbounds pass as both Wilcox and Barton, actually Delonte Joyce in the game as well, as Joyce had the rebound and then swiped away. So 2 new players in off the bench, Joyce and Gravatt, as Barton, Wilcox, and Pacific all remain on the bench. Actually, Pacific remains on the bench. Mabry and folks will take a seat, but it's Barton and Wilcox right now out of the game for the first time, with Gravatt and Joyce in the contest. But those 2 freshmen, again, we've seen them this year for Bethany. Not a lot, but they can perform.
Yeah, they can perform. They can contribute off the bench. We've seen Gravatt knock down a couple shots. Joyce harassing ball handlers, get a couple steals. And they have a very strong junior class. They graduate Alexander next year. They have a very strong junior class coming back, and Coach Sachs is working in from time to time some of the underclassmen, freshmen, into his rotation. And that's the Bethany basketball of the future once Wilcox, Barton, Mabry, Pacific all graduate. And speaking of Pacific, we have not seen him at all on the court since he was knocked in the face late in the first half. He's been tended to along the sidelines, walking around. He's in the team huddle right now, but it doesn't look like he's going to be back into the game anytime soon. Not sure what his issue is. He's not holding any kind of tissue or ice bag to his face right now, but he just hasn't been in the game in the second half.
He did have an ice pack on his mouth earlier on, very early in the second half, as he was seated on the bench, and no longer with an ice pack, but still not in the game either. So he'll sit back on the bench, and that is a big weapon that Bethany could use right now. A guy who could stroke it from the outside, hitting 48%. One of the top 3-point shooters in the PAC. Addy, jump shot no good. Rebound McCauley. So out of the timeout, Bethany with a miss. And that's been really what you saw moments ago there. One and done has been the nature of the Bethany offense. If they miss, they don't get a second chance. Wise on the floor. Addy comes up with a lead pass for Delonte Joyce, and the lay-in will spin in. 57-42. That ball thought about it, eventually decided to fall in for Joyce.
And give Addy an assist on that one. Good heads-up play from the seat of his pants, finding Joyce. Nice lead pass ahead.
And here's some hustle. Nice play by Alexander to get to the ball and then feed Mabry. Addy for 3. No good. Rebound McCauley. Gravatt reaching in there, and he'll be charged with a foul.
And that was just McCauley with great position that time. He's already 6'8". That'll give you an advantage. When you have good position, 6'8", you're going to pull down tons of rebounds.
1-and-1 attempt coming up for McCauley. He is a 63% free throw shooter. .68 sophomore Christian McCauley, all CAC member, first team selection this year. Was the rookie of the year last year in the Capital Athletic Conference. First free throw no good, front of the iron. Rebound Wilcox, who's back in off the bench. Gravatt checking out. Delonte Joyce remains in the game. Mabry around the screen from Alexander. 15-point lead, 6:42 to go. St. Mary's in front. Mabry crossover, spin around Jeff Haas, and the leader, no good, but we've got a whistle. And that a foul on St. Mary's. That'll put Mabry to the line for 2. And Mabry, an excellent free throw shooter. It's 84%.
Charge that foul to Kyle Wise. His second, 4th team foul for St. Mary's.
First free throw good. This is exactly what Bethany wants. Scored points with the clock stopped.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Score points with the clock stopped. And they've not been able to get to the free throw line a whole lot this game. Just 1 free throw attempt in the first half.
Second free throw good. Mabry now with 13 points in the game. 57-44, 13-point advantage. Here comes the full court defense from Bethany. St. Mary's beats the press. Now Wise slows it up and looks out to Hutchinson. 6:21 to go. Right side, leaner. Spencer had that one.
Oh, if that one went down, that would have brought the house down.
Yeah, had that one scoop out. Now Mabry for three. Mabry hits it. 10-point lead for St. Mary's. This is the closest this game has been since halftime. 57-47. Spencer, and it's an offensive foul on Spencer.
Mabry, I think, drew that one.
Mabry cramping up.
He got in the face of Spencer that time. There was contact, but he did a good job selling that call. Now Bethany with a little bit of momentum. Just a 10-point lead. They won't go away, and they definitely have the horses in the outside shooting to cut this lead even more.
Yeah, with the outside shooting ability of this Bethany team, certainly they are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Second in the PAC in three-point field goal shooting percentage, collectively hitting 37% from beyond the arc. We mentioned Brady Pacific, a big part of that, though, and he still remains on the bench. And as the team is huddled up on the bench area, Pacific, while he doesn't have any ice, he still has his hand up near his mouth area. So something not right with Pacific. And judging from the fact that we haven't seen him well over 14 minutes into this second half now, I suspect we won't see him for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, something's just not right with him, whether it be a lip or a nose problem, but he's still over there kind of checking out his lip. Kind of away from the team huddle a little bit. He'll head back to the bench. That last timeout was called by St. Mary's. They still have one remaining. Bethany with two remaining. And the foul situation, St. Mary's 5 team fouls, Bethany 7 team fouls.
Lead at halftime was 32-20 for St. Mary's. They increased that lead to 20 points, 45-25. Capped on an alley-oop dunk by Christian McCauley very early in the second half. The lead has fluctuated in double digits. Right now, though, at its shortest margin, is Coach Chris Harney right now upset with the officials and not sure what he might. Well, actually, I know what he's upset about. It's that last call. It happened a little while ago with the pause and play here, but he's certainly upset about that offensive foul on Devin Spencer is what he's letting the officials know about.
Yeah, that's not so much for that call, but he would just like the next call whenever that occurs. We'll see if that comes to fruition, that plan, when Bethany has the basketball.
Free throw here for Mabry, and that is good. Do we have a technical foul that...
I didn't hear any announcement, but it certainly seems that way, and that might be why they're upset on the St. Mary's sideline, and it does look that way with both teams out near or beyond mid-court, but I did not hear an announcement.
Mabry hit the first free throw. Second one is also good.
And it would have to be a technical foul because that was a non-shooting foul, it's an offensive foul, and St. Mary's is not over the limit or near the limit. So, and Bethany will retain possession of the basketball. So somebody on St. Mary's must have had a technical foul.
Had to have been a bench technical because we didn't see it otherwise. And it's now an 8-point lead. Mabry gets the ball to Wilcox. Last second, spins out, rebound Haas. It's an 8-point lead now for St. Mary's, though. Things getting interesting with 5:41 to go.
And that's how it's gone for Bethany. Just that ball from Wilcox hanging on the rim and then falling out. Just ball not bouncing their way right now, or it hasn't been the entire game.
McCauley trying to back his way in. Out to Haas. Haas looks to Wise. Baseline, finds resistance and spins out. St. Mary's, they need to get the ball to Devin Spencer. It should be just that simple. And the ball here out of bounds, but we've got a foul called on British Alexander.
And with 7 seconds on the shot clock, too. That'll be a
correction. That'll be on Reese Mabry.
And that'll be a 1-and-1 attempt for St. Mary's.
Well, that's a benefit in one way, at least for Bethany, is that it's the first foul on Mabry rather than the fourth foul on Alexander. So foul number 1 on Mabry, but it does put Hutchinson at the line for a 1-and-1.
Hutchinson, a junior from Owings Mills, Maryland, 64% free throw shooter, knocks down the first. 9-point lead for St. Mary's at 58-49.
9 points for Hutchinson as well. 5:18 to go. Second free throw also good for Hutchinson. He now has 10 in double digits, back to a 10-point lead as well for St. Mary's.
And back to their full court press.
Mabry beating the press for Bethany. Ball to Leslie Addy. Addy creeps forward, behind the back pass, but catching a break there, the Bison. Dangerous pass, was tipped by Wise, should have been stolen, but lucky bounce gets the ball back to Bethany. 5 minutes to go, Leaner from three, Mabry drains it. 59-52 timeout call.
And Mabry may be cramping up right now. He shot that ball off balance, and I was wondering what he was doing shooting the basketball like that with time remaining on the shot clock. It was not a desperation situation by any means, but he's definitely cramping up right now, unable to move on the basketball court. But that three-pointer trimmed this lead to 7. Closest Bethany's been in quite some time. It's getting worked on right now. The training staff, both teams huddled up by their respective benches. And this is the second instance of an injury that Bethany has occurred today, along with Pacific, who we haven't seen for the second half. Now Mabry has the issue of cramps to deal with down in his, looked to be his left leg, cramping up a little bit, but he'll walk it off and head to the bench. Delonte Joyce back into the game for the Bison, replacing Mabry for the moment.
So now a 7-point lead for St. Mary's as Bethany continues to chip away. Bethany has never been in the lead in this game. St. Mary's has been in front more or less since the opening tip.
Well, they were down 7-0 very quickly. St. Mary's was up.
Bobble, loose ball out of bounds. Wise juggled the basketball just as he got near the basket. Turnover, unforced error, Bethany ball. McCauley will take a seat on the bench for the time being as 6'5" sophomore Brendan McFall checks back in for St. Mary's. Addy to send it in. Full court defense by St. Mary's. Ball to Addy. Bounce pass ahead to Barton. With Mabry drinking fluids as quickly as possible to alleviate his cramping issues.
Looks like Gatorade in one hand, water in the other.
Alexander spins his way to the cylinder, gets it to drop. 59-54, 5-point game.
4:23 to go, still plenty of time for the Bison.
Jeff Haas, ball ahead to Wise. Wise dribbles through Leslie Addy, blocking foul on Addy. 1-1 with 9 team fouls on Bethany.
And the third personal foul on Addy. Kyle Wise will head to the free throw line. 78%, 79% on the year. Sophomore from Baltimore.
Kyle Wise looking to get on the scorer's sheet for the first time. Free throw is good on the front end of the 1-1. Kyle Wise out of Baltimore, Maryland, as most of these players on the St. Mary's roster are from the Baltimore area. Second shot, rattles in. Wise with 2, 61-54 the lead for St. Mary's. Barton ahead to Delonte Joyce, now it's Wilcox. Wilcox, bounce pass Alexander, 4:06 to go. Alexander backing his way in, the leaner no good. Defensive board by Hutchinson. Hutchinson pushes the floor. Barton, oh, no, the ball out of bounds, lost by Hutchinson. Thought for a second maybe Barton poked that loose from behind, but unforced error. That's the second time we've seen a Seahawks player do that. This time it was Hutchinson.
Thought they might have got Barton also for a foul there. He's riding pretty good down the sideline, at least from our vantage point. The ball just trickled out of bounds. Right now, St. Mary's not doing a good job of taking care of the basketball, and Bethany's capitalizing, going the other way in a hurry. And Mabry's back up on his feet, and he's in the team huddle. We'll see if he checks in here for the Bison. 3:56 remaining on the clock.
Well, if you're just joining us, as we mentioned, St. Mary's has been in front of this game from the outset. They jumped to a quick 7-0 lead. They had a 12-point lead at halftime, 32-20, and built up a 20-point lead at 45-25 very early in this second half. Bethany now has trimmed that lead to where it's at now, 61-54. It actually was at 5 points not all that long ago. It's 61-54 before St. Mary's had an answer on a couple of free throws by Kyle Wise. But nonetheless, Bethany now with a single-digit deficit, very much back in this game.
This game has the feel to the Teal-Bethany game at Bethany this year. Teal jumped out to an 11-0 lead in that game. Won by 12, and that game was for first place at the time in the PAC conference. And like that game, Bethany down 7 to start it out before they made their first basket, and right now facing a 7-point deficit. So those early deficits are really contributing to Bethany down the stretch, not being able to fight all the way back. Although you mentioned, Randy, it was a 5-point lead a minute ago, and now it's 7 at 61-54.
Delonte Joyce administers the inbounds pass to Leslie Addy. Addy, with eyes in the back of his head, able to evade Devin Spencer, and now it's Wilcox in the forecourt. 3:46 and rolling, Bethany trailing by 7. Wilcox searching for some space, right-handed shot, drops in. Wilcox cuts it to a 5-point deficit again for Bethany.
Just the 4th point for Wilcox, and I'm not sure if that was the play that was designed, but he made something out of nothing there with a little right-handed hook shot.
There, Haas is bumped from behind by Delonte Joyce. Joyce requested to settle down by his coaching staff.
A little too aggressive there that time, committing the foul.
That's the 10th team foul on Bethany, so anytime there is a foul on the Bison, someone from the Seahawks in that white jersey will be shooting too.
And Reese Mabry is at the scorer's table, so he will check in momentarily after dealing with those cramping issues.
First free throw for Haas. Swishes straight through.
Well, he's been money from the free throw line tonight. Pretty good free throw shooter for a big guy.
6 of 8 from the line tonight is Jeff Haas. 62-56. And now 63-56. 7-point lead again for the Seahawks. 11 points for Jeff Haas. Alexander. Nice move around McCauley. Now Alexander looks for help, has Mabry. Mabry around the screen from Alexander, left side of the lane. Someone falls over top of Mabry, and that is his number 12 counterpart, Chris Hutchinson.
And it was a good thing too, because Mabry's feet were sliding out from underneath him. He could have been whistled for traveling, but luckily Hutchinson bailed him out, flying over the top of him, committing, I believe that was foul number 4 on him.
4 on Hutchinson. That's 6 now on the Seahawks collectively. 3:17 remaining. Inbounds pass goes to Barton. Barton trying to get the ball to Addy. Eventually does. Addy, ball to Wilcox in the left quarter, and now Wilcox will go to the free throw line as Laguerre, the freshman, commits the foul.
And poked Wilcox right in the face on that foul. The junior from Peters Township will head to the free throw line. 60% free throw shooter on the year.
1-and-1 here for Wilcox. 3:12 to go. Front end is good.
Well, that's what you like from one of your team leaders. PAC Player of the Year this year on the men's side, knocking down clutch free throws in a tournament game.
Second free throw bounces out. Haas with the board. 63-57. 6-point lead for the Seahawks. Into the forecourt goes Kyle Wise. 3 minutes to go. Nick Wilcox, the PAC Player of the Year, with 5 points, all of which coming in this second half. McCauley, no good on his take. Alexander with the rebound. Mabry ahead. Right wing, Addy back to Mabry. 3-point shot by Mabry. No good. Rebound, Jeff Haas again with another important rebound. 2:36 to go. McCauley loses it, hands it off to Haas. He'll take care of the rest. 65-57.
And Jeff Haas in the right place, right time. With McCauley fumbling the basketball, he just scoops it to his buddy Haas, who lays it in with the left hand and leads back up to 8 for the Seahawks.
2:19 to go. Barton bumped past to Mabry. Mabry trying to go left. Defense comes out and follows. Laguerre on him. Mabry. Nice moves. Pass to Addy. Tipped and stolen by Jeff Haas. 2 minutes to play. St. Mary's with a chance now on this possession to really take command on. Here's a foul on Mabry. Now Wise can do some work at the line.
Well, if Bethany's going to commit some fouls, Mabry's the guy to do it, just his second. with several members of the Bison, 3 or 4 fouls. Maybe was the guy to foul in that situation. We'll send Wise to the line.
79% free throw shooter is Wise, and he hits the first. Wise 3 for 3 at the charity stripe. 66-57, St. Mary's with an opportunity to bring their lead back to double digits. Lead was trimmed as close as 5 points. Second free throw no good, stays a single-digit lead. Bethany with 1:53 to go. Barton quickly up the floor, and he travels with it. Barton wanted a foul, so does Coach Saxel. He is very upset, to say the least, with the officials on the Bethany bench area.
Yeah, Barton looked like he may have been tripped up a little bit, heading towards the basket that time. But St. Mary's has the ball.
Wise, alley-oop, he just throws the ball out of bounds. Miscommunication there. Well, now's not the time for those type of plays. You got a chance to advance here in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks just need to take care of business, take care of the basketball. Now's not the time to be throwing alley-oops and trying to get all fancy inside 2 minutes to play.
1:37 to go. Mabry trying to come free. Mabry in a tight spot, hands it off to Wilcox. Left side of the lane, shot block. Gets the ball to Alexander. His lay-in attempt no good. Loose ball, Jeff Haas, and now Spencer has it. 66-57. 1:17 to go. Bethany needs to foul. And this is going to be on Wilcox, and that will be number 5. Wilcox, the PAC Player of the Year, is fouled out.
Well, they needed Mabry to foul that time. Mabry has some fouls to give, just with 2 personal fouls. He seemed none too eager to come and foul the Seahawk player with the basketball, Devin Spencer. So Wilcox was forced to foul him to conserve some time. Unfortunately for him, that'll be his 5th foul. He'll be out of the game.
Free throw, no good for Devin Spencer.
Still too close. He needs to back up and shoot his free throws.
Spencer with 25 points in this game, with 7 3-pointers. Second free throw, this one is good. Lead to 10 now for the Seahawks. Mabry in the backcourt, harassed by Jeff Haas, 1:11 to go. Ball to Barton. Barton, 3-point try from the top of the key, no good. Haas again with another rebound. He is just taking control on the boards. Ball thrown out of bounds, though, by St. Mary's. Again, sloppy with the basketball here over the last maybe 5 minutes in the second half.
Kind of curious play there, too, with a 10-point lead. You know Bethany's going to foul. You don't really need to pass it off. Just take the foul and go make your free throws down at the other end.
And Bethany has been helped a bit.
Like you mentioned, Randy, Jeff Haas has been a monster on the boards in the second half. Whether it's him going for the basketball or just the basketball finding him, it's been unbelievable down here on the defensive end.
He's got a magnet on that basketball right now, Jeff Haas does. James Barton finds Delonte Joyce left side. Joyce, 2-point jump shot, no good. Rebound, Kyle Wise, and now St. Mary's with 44 seconds to go. In command and appear to be on their way. Bethany, though, will try to prevent that as best they can. Foul on Mabry. That'll be his 3rd. But in dire straits now are the Bison.
38.1 on the clock, facing a 10-point deficit. Possibly more here. Devin Spencer, 2 free throw opportunities.
Ryan Summers ready to check in off the bench, 6-foot senior for Bethany. Free throw good for Devin Spencer. Summers into the game as Delonte Joyce will take a seat. And now timeout on the floor. 38.1 to go in the game. And it's now an 11-point lead for St. Mary's. Winner of this one will face Virginia Wesleyan on Saturday. And right now, as it sits, it certainly looks like it's going to be the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Seahawks started out in command, and it's been tough going for the Bison. They've been chipping into the lead, got it as close as 5. Unfortunately, unable to come all the way back. Otherwise, it's been an absolutely stellar season for Bethany. Winners of the PAC regular season title, winners of the conference tournament. another trip to the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, like last year, it looks like they're going to go down in the first round.
Out of the timeout, players realign. And Spencer ready for a second free throw. But as you said, in terms of Bethany, certainly nothing to hang your head about. A great season. PAC champions, winning the conference title for the 14th time in school history. Second free throw also good for Spencer. Spencer with 28 points in this game. 32 seconds to go. Mabry baseline out to Addy. He'll take the three-point shot. Addy no good. Alexander with the board. Left-handed shot no good. Back of the iron. McCauley with the rebound. 12-point lead for St. Mary's. 17 seconds to go, and the Seahawks on their way to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Crowd on their feet now here at the O'Brien Athletics and Recreation Center, and the buzzer sounds. That's your ball game. St. Mary's on their way to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Bethany, their season comes to a conclusion with a 25-4 overall mark. St. Mary's with the win improves to 20-7. Now their fourth straight season with 20 wins on their tally. So job well done. St. Mary's on their home floor, really achieving it the way that you would draw it up. Take command early, built that lead up to double digits by halftime, had a 20-point lead early in the second half, hung on for dear life in the second half. Bethany trimmed it to within 5, but that would be as close as they would come. Bethany at no point had the lead in this game.
And it really came down to rebounds and shooting the basketball. Bethany went cold long periods of time in the second half, and just when you think they were going to cut that deficit and maybe trim it to 1, 2 points or even take the lead, they just couldn't hit the shot when the opportunity presented itself. And more often than not, St. Mary's went back the other way, reinflated their lead, and rode that early run to victory here. And they'll face Virginia Wesleyan on Saturday. Look out for this St. Mary's team just because of their size. They present matchup problems. We mentioned Christian McCauley, who's a great talent inside game, and he really was a non-factor in this game. He altered a couple shots from Bethany, but on the offensive end, he was really a non-factor. Unfortunately, they also have a kid by the name of Devin Spencer, who is absolute lights out from the outside. 28 points, knocking down 7 three-pointers, and that's the inside-outside game that a lot of schools just don't have, and St. Mary's fortunate to have that. And when your inside game's not working, you can rely on the outside game and vice versa. So there'll be a handful for Virginia Wesleyan and then possibly teams down the road in the tournament. Yeah, that dual threat that St. Mary's presents with McCauley down low. As you said, he ended up with just 2 points in this game, although it was a thunderous alley-oop dunk that he had. Aside from that, though, he was quiet on the offensive end. Devin Spencer finishes with 28 points, including 7 three-pointers. He was outstanding and really led St. Mary's in this one. For Bethany, in double digits, Reese Mabry, he finished with 21. All said and done, as he really led the comeback effort for the Bethany Bison in the second half. Mabry had just 4 points at halftime, but finished with 21. Also in double digits, Leslie Addy, as he was able to finish with 11. So job well done all the way around. British Alexander coming up with 12 points as well tonight for the Bethany Bison, so he ends up in double digits. Nick Wilcox, in terms of offense, and we mentioned McCauley, who was kept silent offensively. Nick Wilcox was as well, just 2 for 9 from the field, 5 points total, and he fouled out of this game. Somehow, St. Mary's did something that really few other teams could do this season, and that was keep Nick Wilcox held down, and all 5 of Wilcox's points came in the second half. So Wilcox also a part of the comeback effort in a way for Bethany. Just his presence on the floor always helps. But Reese Mabry had the big day for Bethany tonight, but Wilcox able to be held down by the St. Mary's defense. Yeah, they were all over him, and the outside shot, when the inside game wasn't working with Wilcox, the outside shots just weren't falling. Bethany 4 of 18 from three-point land, but all 4 of those were made in the second half. And James Barton was held scoreless from the outside, 0 of 5 from three-point land, just 4 points on the night. That's another usually heavy contributor on this Bison team, who just kind of came up a little bit short with a lot of his shots tonight, and maybe a little contributed to the 12-point loss by the Bison. But nothing to be ashamed about from Bethany's standpoint. Great season, and it's always nice to go to the NCAA tournament. It's even nicer when you go to the tournament and you have 4 of your 5 starters back next year and the first guy off the bench, and they do with Addy, Barton, Maybury, Pacific off the bench, and Player of the Year Nick Wilcox all returning. They'll lose British Alexander, who's a heavy loss, nice shot blocking presence inside, but when you bring back 4 players like that, plus Pacific off the bench, potentially off the bench, that's a great core going forward.
A valiant effort by the Bison tonight. Comes up short, however, in the end as St. Mary's advances to face Virginia Wesleyan in the second round of the NCAA tournament. And again, that game will be on Saturday at Virginia Wesleyan. So congratulations to St. Mary's. Also congratulations to Bethany on a great year. And they'll be back next season, that's for sure. You noted all of those reasons why. And there's 5 players with significant playing time this year that'll be all back next year. The only player they lose, senior British Alexander. So Bethany, a force to be reckoned with next season as well. And look forward to some exciting PAC basketball next year on the PAC Sports Network, as they have plenty of other outstanding teams that we saw this year, and surely there'll be others that will be vying for the PAC title next year to try and strip that crown away from Bethany next season.
This was absolutely a fun time to be covering PAC basketball. We mentioned it in our regular season finale and again at the PAC championship, but this was a blast, traveling to different gyms and then traveling down here to Maryland for the NCAA tournament. Big thanks to Joe Onderico and Brian Rose, who we had on at halftime, for letting us come and helping us get this done and being able to broadcast here tonight. Yeah,
I'm glad you said it, because that's exactly where I was going next. So thank you to all of those folks, Joe Onderico, Brian Rose, SID at Bethany, and Joe Onderico, of course, the executive director of the President's Athletic Conference, and the folks here at St. Mary's as well, welcoming us in and setting us up very nicely in the Hawk's Nest, as you called it. Justin here perched up high, and thanks to everybody that made it possible. Also, on my behalf, thank you, Justin, and thank you to our producer, David Singer, for a great basketball season. Looking forward to more.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So that's about it here from St. Mary's City, Maryland. Your final score, the St. Mary's Seahawks defeat the Bethany Bison by a final 69-57. For Justin Piles and David Singer, I'm Randy Gore. We'll talk to you again soon on the PAC Sports Network.